Let's go. Father, we all pray. Football Nation, let us unite today. Welcome to the Fire Nights Experience, where we talk football. Football is religion. This is what we do. It's Sunday, 11 o'clock. I don't know what you're doing. You could be anywhere in the world, but you fucking with us. We appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Love it. I love it. I love it. It's that time of the week again. It's football today. I'm P. That don't matter. I'm flanked by my guy, Fresco. How you feeling today, bro?
Oh man, I'm feeling marvelous, man. It's Sunday, man. It rivals Tuesday as my favorite day of the week, man. You know, we got some winners and losers, we got some bumps and bruises. We had some prime time overtime last night, man.
Oh, I got my primers. Man. I got my primers on.
I got something on. You know, I keep a plethora, man, but I had to do that in honor of Prime and the sunglass.
I'm primed and ready. I'm primed and ready. It's prime time. You know what I mean? All the prime puns. Let's get it in. Shout out to Prime and the Colorado Buffs. We'll get to that a little later on, man. But we talk about NFL football here, man. This is what we do. This is all about NFL football. We are in week two. Last week was an interesting week.
Yes,
we made some picks. Some of them came to fruition. Some of them didn't. We'll get to that in terms of how we did. I did fairly well. I was definitely over 50%. Yeah,
I don't think I was over 50%, man. I don't think I took a bath, but I definitely took a bird bath last week. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take a bath, but I got a little wet. First week, you know,
first week. You still filling it out. You still filling the season.
Still filling it out, man. Hopefully, I can get some picks in from my guy Bagley, man. Picks from the blocks, man. You know, we
got Bagley on deck.
Hopefully.
Okay, all right. That makes me feel better. You know, I need the lock from the block. The people need the lock from the block. You know,
yes, we do.
We need to get them cards. They need to get them teasers right. You know what I mean? So we gotta provide that. We gotta provide that. But listen, without further ado, we on the clock. Let's not play around with this thing. Thoughts on last week as far as we had a game that was played Thursday night, part of this week's schedule. So thoughts on that game real quick.
Well, to me, I thought that the Eagles kind of looked like I thought they was going to look. They went out. They definitely put their arms out and put an arm's length between them and the Minnesota Vikings. But there are things that I've seen with the Eagles that trouble me. They can be thrown on. The defense has to be shored up on that back end. They've had some injuries that I think that are going to affect them for a long, long time. And I think my Minnesota Vikings pick to win the NFC North may be in the crapper. But who knows? Who knows?
Well, I know one thing is for certain as well. Along with the Bengals being a notoriously slow starter, I'm not shocked that the Vikings start. Both those teams tend to get some traction towards the second quarter of the season. You know what I mean? Like they get traction towards that second and third quarter, and you start to see who they really are. So I'm not down on the Vikes. I just know there are certain periods of the season where they go through this. There are certain games that you feel like they should win, and then they end up losing them. I think the Eagles show more of a winner's mentality because I think this was not a game that people want to say that Minnesota quote unquote gave to them. This is Philadelphia's mojo. They create turnovers. This is what they do. So this isn't by chance. The Vikings didn't hand the game to them. Philly created turnovers, man. This is what they do. People think that interceptions are just simply a microcosm of bad plays, but a lot of times, man, you're a lot of things go into interceptions, and some of those things are, frontline pressure, disguising defenses and things of that nature, playing head games with the quarterback, and those lead to some errant throws and things of that nature. So, I don't want to think of it more or less as, the Vikings just simply gave the game away. The Eagles have been way too good at the turnover game for a minute now. So I'm going to tend to believe that portion of it instead of them being given the game. They're way too good at the turnover game. They've led the NFL or top 5 in the take turnover ratio for a while. So that's them. That's who they are. Typically, if you want to beat the Eagles, you can't turn the ball over because they capitalize on your mistakes. So that's part of the game plan to beat them. You simply cannot turn the ball over, but they make you turn the ball over. So that's kind of like it's hard. It's a hard catch-22 sort of situation. Don't turn the ball over, but they make you turn the ball over.
Right.
So take that for what it's worth. I thought that was the Eagles. I thought the Eagles were the Eagles Thursday night. Out the gate, they're not super impressive. They're not high flying, but I also think a lot of that is, and I'll let you go. I think a lot of this is, we may have seen Jalen Hurts play at his absolute ceiling last year. Now to maintain that, they're most definitely going back to the big game. If he plays at his ceiling again, I don't know if he can do that again, but somewhere, between that and middle, I think they're fine. Anything below that, I think now you start to see the team dip a bit, but I don't think he goes below that. I think he stays somewhere, I guess if a 10 is the ceiling, I guess he stays somewhere around, a 7 or 8, which is still great for the Eagles because they have so many other components on the team. So,
one of the things I saw on the Eagles sideline that kind of definitely made me take out my pen and take note of A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts getting into a verbal kerfuffle, if you may. I'm not sure what it was about, but it seems like every time with the wide receiver and a quarterback, it seems like you're not getting me the ball. But what I always think of when I hear of or I see wide receivers and quarterbacks, barking at each other is I seem to think that there isn't as much connection between the two. I would definitely say there's respect, but may not be as much respect as people think there may be outside the Eagles facilities. When you start hollering at people like, throw me the ball, or those type of things, I understand things get heated in a game, but at the same time, some of the reasons that you may be hollering at people, you're like, okay, well, I don't respect someone. That may be a reason for me to just jump off and fire off at you, regardless of who's in the crowd or what kind of cameras are looking at you. So that was something I took note of. Something I definitely took note of on the offensive side was the Eagles aren't getting the tight ends as involved as they used to in the past. And that was a big, significant reason in their success in all of their past history. The Eagles have had pretty good success in production from their tight end position. And it seems like they came out and had a concerted effort to try to get Dallas Goedert, one of the better tight ends in the league, the ball. But it seemed like even that failed going forward because fell off going forward. And those type of things, I'm like, for you to be running at your peak efficiency like he was last year, you're going to have to get Dallas Goedert the ball. And one other very, very, very significant thing I saw on defense is I've seen the pass rush has maybe taken a step back. And they're going to need that because on the back end, they don't have the C.J. Gardners or the Marcus Eppses back there. Those guys went away to Detroit and I want to say Houston, respectively, to get that bread. I'm not mad at you. But you got some serviceable guys back there. But you just had your slot receiver, your slot cornerback go down, and it may be for the years in Avonte Maddox. So they're going to need that league leading 75 plus sack pass rush this year, probably even more than they needed it last year to go just to be, to make a deep playoff run, let alone get back to the Super Bowl.
I want to add something to that whole AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts thing, and we also have to remember, man, there's money to be made because if you had a monster year last year and you come out the gate and you're not necessarily smoking, guys are gonna call for the ball. If that's what it normally is, guys gonna call for the ball because there's money at the end of scoring touchdowns. We both know that. It's advertising money. Sponsorship money. It's a lot on top of that, man. And then when you're I wouldn't say struggling, but when there's a slow start, guys tend to think, well, we're not starting, we're starting slow because I'm not getting what's mine. That sort of mentality. But what people have to understand and what the Eagles have to understand is people are going to game plan for them different now. So you have that whole last year with this quarterback, you have a whole year film now. So people are going to play him different. You're not going to get the same looks. People are going to alter the looks now. They're going to make him have to evolve even more as a quarterback. If he can do it, then he stays at that upper echelon. But, teams are going to show him different things now. They're going to test his acumen. They're going to test his vision, and they're going to test his resiliency. So that's how that's going to go. So moving on. Who do we got on the schedule for today? Who's on the schedule?
Well, who we have on the schedule for today? Starting off our 1 o'clock games. We start off with, hold on now. I got my sunglasses on, not my reading glasses.
They stunting glasses, not reading glasses.
I got my primes on, not my reading glasses.
Yeah, they were stunting. They were stunting, not for reading.
Okay. Well, excuse me. First of all, starting off 1 o'clock kickoff, we have the Ravens of Baltimore going out in an interdivisional game out to Cincinnati and face the Bengals. Thoughts on that, good brother? Thoughts?
Okay, so this is week 2. Cincinnati, I think, may still experience a little bit of traction issues. Got Baltimore coming in. I think Baltimore's coming in with all the confidence in the world. Despite losing J.K. Dobbins for the second straight year, I think they still come in high flying. I think they all got all the confidence in the world. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens by 3. I'm going to take the Ravens 24-21. 24-21. Cincinnati wakes up a little bit, but they're not all the way there. I think we see the real Cincinnati around week 3 or 4, but not this week. Give me the Ravens by 3. 24-21. Give me the Ravens.
I think an interdivisional game, I think it's going to be tough. I think the last week that the Bengals totally put up an egg, they almost put up a bagel going into Cleveland. That's an interdivisional game, as is this one. I was not impressed with the new look Baltimore Ravens so-called offense. They struggled with the Houston Texans up until, I want to say, late in the third, early in the fourth quarter. That was a game to be had. So with that being said, give me Cincinnati.
They wake up this week.
I like Cincinnati to wake up even further and win the game 33-27.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati continues his early season struggles. I think they continue that. We don't see the real Cincinnati for a couple of weeks.
Okay. No problem. I think you're going to see the Bengals waking up today.
We shall see. The good thing about it, we shall see.
That's why they don't play the games on paper, bro. Moving right along, we will be moving into the Motor City, where the Detroit Lions will be playing host to a team that will be traveling a little bit cross country in the Seattle Seahawks up in the Ford Stadium. Thoughts on that, bro?
Seattle was not who we thought they were last week at all.
Whoa. Okay. Go ahead.
Seattle was not who we thought they were going to be last week. With that being said, give me the Detroit Lions right now. Everything's all roses in the Motor City. I think they come out. They might lay a whooping on Seattle. They might lay a whooping on Seattle, and I don't mean a whooping to the tune of a million points. I just think that Detroit defense coming off playing Patrick Mahomes, they have to feel good about themselves. On the road, getting a crucial victory. You come back home in front of your rabid home fan. Listen, that stadium is going to be insane today. I hear that they all wearing blue masks for the home opener. Oh, they all got blue shiesties. Oh, it's going to be crazy in Detroit. Give me Detroit. And give me Detroit by 7. I'm going 28-21. No, I'm going 28-20.
Okay.
28-20. Yeah, give me 28-20 Detroit.
Well, me myself, man, being as
hold on. Before I say that, I don't even know if Seattle's going to be capable of the 20.
Ooh.
That's what bothers me. I don't know if Seattle will be capable of the 20, but I'm going to leave that right there. 28-20.
Okay. Well, with that being said, man, Seattle put up, man, they put up a very cold performance last week. I think that may have been one of my ice performances last week, man. They put up a dud. Being my NFC West division winners predictions, they disappointed me so bad last week. And I honestly think they will disappoint me again this week. I think the Lions are riding high. I think they went into Arrowhead and pulled one out that a lot of people thought they could, but probably wouldn't. I think a lot of people thought they would play as valiantly as they played, but I didn't think a lot of people gave them the wherewithal to pull it out. And those type of victories are like milestone victories in people's journeys and careers. And I think they're on a path and trajectory to win some things. And I think with that motivation and that momentum, I think they pull it out again with the home opener in Detroit. And I almost think it gets ugly.
Oh, man.
I almost think it gets ugly to the tune of 35-17.
Okay. So we both agree there. We think that this is tailor-made for Detroit football. Football.
But before we move on, we got a good brother who done flew in from Bucharest doing his best. And he's going to give us his performances and predictions of this week. The good brother B-Man.
Let's get it. What's good with you, Brody?
Hey, man, what's the dilly, man?
Listen.
Sorry, I'm a little late, man. You know my flight from Bucharest be fighting.
Hey, man, but that's expected. You right on time, actually.
That's the international. That's the international.
You on a different time zone. You know what I mean? So we right on time. So we need to get your prediction on this. Detroit. We got Seattle traveling to Detroit for a 1:00 tilt.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on that game?
You know what? Seattle was very disappointing last weekend. And I think Detroit, I actually picked Detroit last week, so I wasn't surprised by that. But with all that being said, I think Detroit might be on a little emotional high from last week. And I don't really see Seattle having 2 duds in a row. I see Geno playing a lot better than he did last week. I like Seattle, man.
Okay.
Seattle 28.
So we got two Detroit, 1 Seattle. I think that Geno's gonna be. I think Seattle. I think Geno's gonna be under duress today. Aiden Hutchinson and them boys, they're gonna be at his neck.
They real.
I think it's not gonna be good for Seattle. Moving on, Fresh. Give us the next slate.
Well, the next slate's kicking off at 1:00, man. We have the Houston Texans hosting the Indianapolis Colts. To me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Throw them teams in a hat. Shake them on up, pull one out. Oh, I think I pulled out the Colts this week. Now I ain't gonna last long on this one, man. I think I like the Colts because I think I like what I saw a little bit better out of Anthony Richardson than I saw out of C.J. Stroud. Even though they put up a little bit better performance than I thought in Baltimore, but give me the Colts on the road.
Give me Houston. They got to win one. They got to win one. Give me Houston. I'll take Houston. Give me Houston. and I'll take Houston. I'll take Houston to the tune of 2017. Give me Houston.
Do they have to win one? Like, is that the rules or?
I mean, I figure. Yeah, not the rules, but I think they got to win one. And what I mean, if you're gonna get one, you might as well get one against the Colts.
I'm not sure that's legally binding.
Right. It's not. Sure but I said what I said. It's not. But I said what I said.
But go the Colts, man. I like the young boy Richardson, man. I like C.J. Stroud too. Don't get me wrong. But I see the young boy having a good game. Hey, I'm going with 21-10 Colts.
Okay, so we got two. We got two Colts. We got one Texan. Let's get it. Keep it moving, Fred.
Got it. As we move on to Duval County, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who pulled out a victory over those said Colts last week, inviting into their household the Super Bowl defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs. Ooh.
Listen. That's my pick to win that division. Give me Jacksonville. Give me Jacksonville. And I'm going to go Jacksonville 28-27. Give me Jacksonville 28-27.
Wow.
Let's go.
Close one.
28-27. That seems to be their modus operandi. You know, they when they win, it's kind of close. You know, they're going to have to eventually start to win comfortably in order if they want to take that next step. But they're competitive right now. I think they pull this one out against the Chiefs. The Chiefs still figuring some things out. You know, they still trying to figure some things out. If you're gonna catch them right now. I got the Chiefs. Give me the Jags 28-27. Jags take this one.
That's fair. I just don't see the Chiefs going 0-2. Kelsey's back this week. I think he's going to, show improve. Now it's going to be a good one. Like you said, 28-27 is that's fair because they're two good teams, man. With that being said, I'm going with Kansas City 35-28. Beat them by a touchdown.
Okay.
This game right here I have circled as potentially the game of the week. You got who a lot of people would call or identify as the new young guy coming up, the young prince in Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. You have the standard, the bar, and who has pushed himself into the all-time quarterback conversation in Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. What I'm looking at last week, it was not Patrick Mahomes' fault that Kansas City lost by 1. If I'm not mistaken, it was not Patrick Mahomes' fault that balls was just bouncing off of Kadarius Terry's hands, just like
those players are playing this week too, though.
Yeah,
but players are playing this week.
Yeah, but we may have to get you a little bit more stickum or a better style of glove because he was hitting you guys in the face mask and everything, So one thing I can see is, and one thing I will say is a known. Is Patrick Mahomes does not take this kind of shit lightly. He will not go gently into the night. He will throw balls and stick them into your face mask as he has to. I believe with every fiber in my heart that Patrick Mahomes will not go 0-2 to anyone. I believe that Patrick Mahomes goes into Jacksonville and whatever score he needs to score, it will be one more than the Jacksonville Jaguars will have.
Facts.
I believe it'd be probably something because I believe Trevor Lawrence will step up and answer the bell, but I believe it will be a barn burner. I believe it'll probably be the game of the day, and I believe it'll be a 40 to 38 game.
That's
That's
fair.
fireworks.
Early for us.
That's fair.
Fireworks.
Cal-
Fireworks.
Calvin Ridley, he's on fire.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Hey man, the gambler is going to show you something today.
Fact.
So we got two picks for the Chiefs, one for the Jags. Keep it moving, Fresh. What we got next?
All right, we have the Atlanta Falcons coming off a victory last week. Dirty Birds.
Dirty Bird?
Also hosting, inviting into their arena. Coming off a victory, the Green Bay Packers. Who you got, Coach?
It's an interesting game here. I can honestly say that I watched the majority of that Chicago Green Bay game, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I'm not saying that I was thoroughly impressed with Jordan Love. I was thoroughly impressed with the Packers. Period. This was a total team effort. The run game looked rejuvenated. He looked comfortable. He looked comfortable back there. The defense looked stout. I gotta go with the Packers. I'm gonna go with the visiting Packers, and I'm going with the visiting Packers because I think that they were clicking on all three facets of the game, and I think not having the weight and the specter of one of the all-time great quarterbacks, I think other guys have stepped up and filled certain roles that has now made the team, dare I say, more balanced on both sides of the ball, playing better complementary football. Give me the Packers. I'm gonna go out on a limb with this one because I don't. If this was anybody but the Packers, maybe because I do like the Falcons somewhat, but I just think I like the Packers a little bit more, and I like the Packers a little bit more. Now, not to say that because Chicago is not by any means anybody's litmus test. You know what I mean? But I think that Green Bay, from what I saw, they'll be a much more physical team than the Falcons. They'll be a more well-oiled team than the Falcons. Give me the Packers 20-14.
Got this one close, slobber knocker, if you will.
I think the Packer physicality. I think the Packer physicality will eventually wear down the Falcons. Falcons, to me, I think they're a couple of weeks away from hitting their stride, a real stride. I think the Packers catch them. Jordan Love has a fairly decent game, not one of those all-pro games, but I think he does enough to not lose the game. And I don't mean that in the sense of just playing mistake-free football. I think he has one of those, has a 200-yard game. He has a tutty, and I think he has a very high percentage. I think they get Christian Watford back today, if I'm not mistaken. They won that game last week without him. So I think when you add him, if I'm not mistaken, if you could check the wire, I think he is playing today. I think it bodes well for the Packers.
Okay.
I mean, I was impressed by the Packers last week as well. And like you said, it wasn't just Jordan. It was kind of overall. Like I was like, oh, okay, they actually look like a team. You know what I'm saying? Surprisingly to me. Does that mean that I think they're gonna make some noise this year? Absolutely not. But they will win this week, and I think they'll win this week. I'm gonna go with 24-13.
All right. Well, from what I saw from Green Bay last week, I want to concur with both of you guys, man. I seen a well-balanced, total team effort, offense, defense, running game, pass rush, coverage, timely third down conversions, turnovers, solid special teams play. It all came together for them. That was probably the best thing that could have happened for the young Jordan Love in his first start. Well, in his first start this season, that was probably the best thing that could have happened for him. I like the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South. I like what they did last week because it actually just leaned more into the team that they are, and we are who we are. We're going to get the ball to our guys and those type of things. And with two young quarterbacks, two young teams, I'm going to go with the team at home in the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to the tune of 24-20.
It's an interesting game, I think. I think
It's an interesting game. I think that there may be a key turnover somewhere, and I ain't gonna say it's on Jordan Love, but I think there may be a key turnover somewhere. And I actually think that the good brothers that we're gonna bring in next may even have some predictions and some locks from the block for us. You know, on these said games.
Let's get it.
Yeah, man, we got some good brothers, man. Some locks from the blocks, man. I would like to introduce to you to the Fire Nice Experience Football Talk. Bags and Bags.
Let's get
it. Yo, what's up with you?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
What happened, man?
What's up with you?
We appreciate it. We appreciate you joining us, bro. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
What we need, though, what we need now. What we need, first of all, where's Bags at? We got to console him on that first week performance. Bag, you explain. I need you to just sum up what happened last week with the Packers. I mean, do they still own y'all? I mean,
same.
No comment.
I told you
no comment.
I told you they was weak.
Well, I didn't think you being a professional you are would go with your heart. I thought you would go with the
I
pick.
didn't. I gave y'all my other picks.
You got to tell us where you going with your heart. That way, you got to put the disclaimer on it. At least that's what I do.
Y'all gave y'all with the lock, even though y'all ain't cover, y'all won, and I gave y'all the Browns.
And listen, that was perfect. We need it this week.
Here, Mike's got the picks. I got some guaranteed locks for you, and they're they not only going to win, they're going to cover the spread.
Let's get it.
Okay.
This was yesterday.
Hold on. So if you out there and you got your card, give them a second. Let them get their cards so they can listen. This is the Fire Nice Locks from the Block. This is your pick right now. Let them have it.
I'm gonna give you the first one. Even though they got handled last week, only put up a measly 3 points. Book the Bengals over the Ravens today. Book it.
I like that pick.
Book it. 12.65. Book it. And then I'm gonna give you another lock.
What's the spread on that one?
3 points.
Okay. And
3 points? Okay.
I see 24-10 Bengals.
Wow. Okay.
In a low scoring game.
All right.
Okay. And then this is the blowout of the week. The 49ers is going to make the Rams look like a JV team this week. I'm telling you.
They're going to put the hammer down on them? That's the hammer of the week?
Yeah, they're going to hammer. They're going to hammer them. They're going to hammer them.
I agree with that.
We'll definitely get to that. We'll cover that. What else you got for us?
And I'm going to give you an upset of the week. This is the upset of the week. The upset of the week. The Super Bowl champions will be 0-2 after the day. The Super Bowl The Super Bowl champions will be 0-2 after the day.
That's fair. Okay. Wow.
I gotta agree with you. I picked them to lose. I picked them.
Wow.
I picked them to lose. So there it is. You have it. You got your 3 picks. Put them in the books. Book them. Put them in the books. The Super Bowl champs go down to 0-2.
Wow.
Cincinnati covering. And
San Fran over the Rams.
In a whitewash.
In a stomp out. Before I let you go to Meister, I want to get your thoughts on your team, the Denver Broncos, and what's swirling around with Russell Wilson, man. Can I get just a little bit of...
Hold on. You see how you threw that in there?
Well, hold up. The Denver Broncos are not my team.
Oh!
They are my second team.
Oh.
Listen,
I took Denver Broncos because they got Tony Dorsett at the end of his career. I was mad at Dallas for doing that, so they became my second team.
Okay.
That was a little insider. That was a little insider knowledge, a little insider joke.
Right.
Okay.
But I love the Broncos. They my second. They are my second. They my AFC team. They are. I was with them from '87 until John Elway left. But I still got love for them because they took my boy when he was on his last leg.
So listen, give us the outlook for your real team, though. Give us the outlook for the Cowboys.
Oh man, if Dak can limit his interceptions, we can be in the Super Bowl.
Fresh got him picked to go to the Super Bowl. Fresh
I'm
got
gonna give
him
you all
picked to
my
go to the
division
Super Bowl.
winners too. The Cowboys is gonna win the NFC East this year. Sorry, Eagles.
Facts.
They're not gonna do it.
So that goes that
Before the
goes right
season, I
along
had the
with Fresh's
Jets win
pick.
it. I had the Jets winning the AFC East before the season. With Aaron Rodgers going, I'm switching my pick to the Dolphins.
That's
I'm
fair.
switching my pick to the Dolphins.
Listen, I'm along the lines where I don't think the Jets are as bad off as everybody likes to believe. I think had this happened in the middle of the season, yes. But being as though it happened in the beginning of the season, I don't think the Jets is as bad off as everybody thinks. That's just my opinion.
You might be right, Coach.
They're gonna be a middle of a pack team.
Okay, we will see. That's the beauty of the game. It's the beginning of the season. We get to watch this unfold.
Lions, Giants.
We get to watch it unfold.
Why they play the
Any other thoughts on the games today? Who else? What else is on your mind about the games today before we let you go?
I want to see what the Lions and the Seahawks do after a big win for the Lions and after a terrible loss for the Seahawks last week against the lowly Rams. The Rams playing all young players and still blew them out.
Who
They
you
didn't
like in
score in
that
the
game?
second half against the Seahawks. Lions, Giants, what else? Lions, Giants, 49ers.
As
I
you
got the Lions.
can see,
I got the Lions.
as you can
I
see,
got
I want to see what they. I like the Lions too
Okay.
at home, but I want to see if the Seahawks put up a fight. Or they going because they overachieved last year
I agree.
and they paid Geno Smith all that money. I don't know what they was thinking, but I guess that's the going rate that just throw money around to a quarterback.
Yep.
You got to pay somebody.
Yep.
As
gotta
Fresh
pay
likes to say,
somebody.
you got to get
Gotta
that
pay
money to
somebody.
somebody.
you gotta get the money to somebody.
Got to get that money to somebody.
Real.
As you can hear, man, the football talk is going on in the background. You know that there are picks, there are money lines, there are parlays being thrown all the benches all about, man. But one of these days, I'm telling you, the Bags and Bakes, the world's greatest sports prognosticator show will be coming to you, presented by Fire and Ice.
That part.
But as we get out of here today, man, I would love to thank my good brothers, Bags and Bake. We're gonna need that analysis in those picks every damn week. Get all our fans rich. We're gonna need y'all, and we love y'all, good brothers. Thank y'all for checking in with the Fire and Ice football talk. Love y'all.
Check back in with us for some post game analysis around 7:30. Just some thoughts for the day, and then we'll check back in with a little quick post game analysis.
All day, baby.
got Chargers.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. There goes your locks from the block, man. Put them in the books. Put them in the books. Keep it going, Fresh. Who we got next?
Moving right along to the next game, we have the Buffalo Bills hosting the Las Raiders at a 1:00 kickoff. Oh, those were two teams last week that kind of went and I picked the Raiders.
I did not. They got me. They got me. They beat Seattle, didn't they?
No, they beat Denver.
Denver? Okay.
They knocked off Denver.
Okay.
And,
I had the Raiders winning that game. I didn't think. No, I had Denver winning that game. I thought Russell would rebound. So okay. So yeah, this is a peculiar one. Go ahead, B Mac. This is a peculiar one for me. Let me think this one over.
I think I had a lot of bad things to say about the young boy Josh Allen. Right, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
I said a lot of bad things.
Yeah. And I meant that shit. You hear me? I meant that shit. But I think he has a bounce back game this week.
Okay.
I think this week he throws for 3 touchdowns and runs for 1.
Oh wow!
And they get a win. I think they win. Pretty big. I'm gonna go.
Do they hammer him? Do they hammer him?
Yeah. It's a
they hammer him?
Yeah. Put a hammer out. There you go.
They hammer him?
Yes,
oh wow!
Yes, sir, Coach. I'm gonna go, Coach. I'm gonna go 42-7, bro.
Ouch! Oh man, that's a stomping.
Oh.
That's a stomping. But this game has the potential to get like that. You got a lot of things that can add up. You win Buffalo. They're at home. They coming off a game that they sure enough shouldn't have lost. You have the Raiders, who last week, they didn't play all that great, but they played good enough to beat the Russell Wilson-led Denver Broncos. That's another story for another day.
Us three can beat them niggas, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got 10 plays in me, man. 10 difference-making plays in me.
Just saying.
You know, with that being said, man, I actually think Buffalo pulls it out this week. I think they get off the schneid. I actually think with the roller coaster that is Josh Allen, I actually think he plays pretty damn good this week. I think they put up I think he probably throws for about 3 touchdowns, or he has a total of probably 3 touchdowns. The thing with him is he cannot turn the ball over.
Right.
They could have won the game last week if he'd have just kneeled on the ball for the whole second half. That could have won the damn game.
That part. Word.
So with him, it's always comes down to Josh Allen and what the hell he's going to do. So I think this week the roller coaster goes up. I think he plays pretty good. I think the Las Vegas Raiders, they don't have enough in the tank to deal with that. I think they lose, and Buffalo wins by the tune of 28-13.
Okay. Solid.
I said this was an interesting one strictly for the reasons B-Mac said. You got a lot of bad things to say about Josh Allen. Is this, like, we know he's a turnover machine, but is he bad enough to get beat by the Raiders? I don't.
Well, to be fair, he's bad enough to be beat by the Jets.
Well, okay. Let me counter that. I think the Jets defense can beat anybody.
Okay, that's fair.
Now you're talking.
Right, he's not facing the Jets defense today.
Right.
He's not facing the Jets defense today.
True.
Can they cause Josh Allen to turn the ball over like he has the propensity to do? With more clarity, I say no. I don't think so. I think we got a sweep here, fellas. We all agree Buffalo wins. I'm just debating on whether it's going to be the hammer or whether they just, they get a win.
Get the hammer out. No. Get the hammer. Come on, man. You know what it is.
Get the hammer out? All right.
Out.
It's going to be a hammer. And it's not a hammer. I think it's 21-3. I don't think it's that kind of hammer. I don't think it's a 40-point hammer. 21-3. Convincing win by Buffalo. I think they still got some issues there, but they beat them comfortably. Not 24-3. 24-3.
Okay. Arm and hammer. Look, let's get it.
Okay, moving on. We have the Tennessee Titans hosting the Los Angeles Chargers in another 1:00 kickoff. Thoughts on that, guys?
I'm gonna go
1 o'clock.
Because Herbert, right? I think he's a really good quarterback, but sometimes he doesn't play like he's a really good quarterback. To me, it's weird because I think he's really talented, man. I think he's really talented, but for some reason, it's just something about him, and he ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? But I think this week he shows people why he's in the conversation. So I think this week he's going to have a really good game, and I think they win 31-13.
He's a great quarterback.
Yes.
Fantasy quarterback. Because fantasy doesn't really matter in terms of wins and losses. You can literally go and have great games, and it only means well statistically. But if you don't have great games or have good performances when it matters, quarters 1 through 3, you could play well, but they need you to finish games. And unfortunately, we've got enough in the file folder to know that he's going to put up numbers today. Those numbers may not matter for anything unless this Charger defense plays optimum level football.
Right.
The Tennessee Titans, we had a fan come on last week, and I don't know whether his bias got in the way or not, but that was not an impressive looking team last week at all. If I got to pick the Chargers, I'll pick them. I don't really want a reason to because I've turned the corner on Justin Herbert. But I guess this week, I guess I have to pick the Chargers because I just don't believe in the Titans. Not No, I don't think they got enough in the tank. That old world style of football, unfortunately, with the Chargers coming in, the Chargers they're a racehorse team. I don't think the Titans can keep up. They're not going to play the kind of football that's going to slow the Chargers down. Give me the Chargers, 28-14.
There it is, folks.
Mm.
28-14.
I guess with me jumping in the time machine, going backwards, you know how I feel about Justin Herbert. I don't want to harp on that gentleman. He's talented, but I don't think he's done enough to garner all the accolades and things that's thrown at him. Just because, like good brother Coach P says, man, he puts up a lot of stats, and just like the good brother B Matt says, we need some wins out of that. And when it comes down to the fourth quarter and those type of things, man, it's almost like, okay, they liken you to a Dan Marino or someone, but it seems like you show up and act up like a Jeff George, someone with great arm talent, but just can't get the job done. So until I see you get the job done, I'm jumping in that hot tub time machine, and I'm going with the Tennessee Titans. Again, at home. I don't think they played as bad as it may have looked in the box score last week. That was a tough game. And if it wasn't for Ryan Tannehill just continuously being the best quarterback on both sides of the ball.
He plays this week too. I mean, he's still playing.
Yeah, I hope his throwing attempts go down this week. I hope we have a little bit more, significantly more Derrick Henry. And I think the Tennessee Titans actually pulled this thing out 2017 at home.
I always look at the Chargers and I ask myself two questions. When are they playing the game, and does this game mean anything? Week 2, does it mean anything? No. My answer is Justin Herbert goes out and has a ball out there. He's playing video game football today. Doesn't mean anything.
Watch out for Tajay Spears. I like Tajay Spears to have a pretty decent game today.
Okay. Moving on. What we got next, Fresh?
Moving on to the 4:00 window, we have the Los Angeles Rams hosting those San Francisco 49ers. Thoughts, Coach? Ooh, he pulled the hammer out?
Yeah, man. And it's a blunt force trauma one too, man. I just 31-17. 31-10. 31-10. Moving on. Go ahead, B Matt. I ain't gonna spend too much time on this one.
Me neither. 38-10.
Oh wow. I think we have a clean sweep, but I think it's actually going to be a little bit closer than what y'all think. I don't think the hammer's going to be out. I think it's an interdivisional game. I think Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan are two equals. And what I want to say is I think a lot of people overlooked the Rams defense last week. Everybody was thinking about what they don't have on offense. What they did have was a stifling defense that went into Seattle and actually put up a whole lot better performance than what a lot of us thought. And I think they put up a little bit better fight than what people thinking today. But I think I'm still taking San Francisco by the tune of 23-20. San Francisco.
A close one. Okay.
Yeah, I got it close. Interdivisional.
Moving on.
Moving along.
Real quick. You know the Cowboys and Giants were interdivisional last week, right?
You had to throw that in there. You had to throw that in there.
About a hammer, that was a hammer, a nail, a
nah, that wasn't a hammer. That was a wrecking ball.
Kind of shit last week, man.
Yeah, that was a wrecking ball.
Moving along into the desert, man, where you have the lowly Cardinals hosting the New York Football Giants. This one has moved into put them in the bag, shake them up status. I will pull out the Arizona Cardinals. I like the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Giants today because I actually think that Josh Dobbs is on par, a requisite talented quarterback, the same as Danny Dimes. I just think he's missing a Saquon Barkley. I don't think all the Giants did in the offseason or any of that meant anything to anybody when you alienate the best football player on your team in said Saquon Barkley. So your team is doomed to fail when the whole rest of your team says if they don't want to pay the best guy and then they want to pay the bum-ass guy what are we supposed to think about the organization? And then you go out and pick me, you, and P to play wide receiver. It just doesn't work out. I think today they take a major, huge step back. And I think the Giants lose to the even lowlier Arizona Cardinals by the tune of 21-9.
That's fair.
So, okay. As much praise as we gave the Giants for getting 100% maximum effort out of every single player, personnel, coaching staff, to have so much bad juju come out of the offseason and then for one game, I mean, you got to be totally down on the Giants, man. I mean, are they really that bad? Or is that more of a component of the cow? Does it say more about the Giants or more about the Cowboys? I tend to think it says more about the Cowboys than the Giants. Because
I thought the Cowboys could do that to somebody. I just didn't think the Giants would let that be done to the Giants. I didn't think the Giants' basement was that low to be 40-0. But I thought the Dallas Cowboys was a much more capable team of doing it.
We praised them for being a team that you couldn't beat like that because they played so solidly. And
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you couldn't beat them that way. So if we're saying that, I think that says more about the Cowboys, and the Giants aren't necessarily that bad. They just sometimes the dog gets your ass. Sometimes the dog just gets you. You roll out of bed, you pull your bootstraps up, and you go play again. I think this is listen, if you play anywhere close to that this week, they may send you to the XFL. You can't play that bad in a row. You simply cannot, because the Cardinals are not the Cowboys. We know that. They're not and you can't possibly, as an NFL team, play that bad. I don't think, anything's possible. I'm willing to say no. I'm willing to say that the Giants rebound somewhat and they pull this one out in Giants fashion. They pull this one out to the tune of 17-14.
So I'm going to address a couple things, right, real quick. In regards to the game last week, y'all know how I feel about the Cowboys. The Cowboys are good, in my opinion. The defense is special, right? With that being said, a lot of people did not notice that the Giants were having early success in the running game. That first drive, they were running the ball very well, right? Stopped running. And it wasn't because they were down 30-0, 20. They stopped running. I was happy because that we couldn't stop the run. The problem we had last year is the same problem we have this year. We cannot stop the run. If they run up the gut, we cannot stop it. If you try to run on the edges, we're too fast on the edges. But our D-line, we can't stop the run as a whole. And they noticed that early, but they went away from it. So I think a couple components to that last week's game is, yes, the Giants are bad, but they're not 40-0 bad, in my opinion. I think it was coaching because they stopped running the ball when they could have ran. Saquon touched the ball like 2 times in the second half. That's unacceptable. I know that you were already down, but if it's working, use that shit. You understand what I'm saying? The defense guessing either way. Danny Dimes is not going to kill you from the pocket. That's never going to happen. So you got to run the ball regardless, right? Also, I think I also say coaching because I don't know if y'all noticed, but in the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left, Danny Dimes was still getting handled.
Yes.
He was still in the game and still getting mollywopped. There's no way it's not like you thought he was going, all right, he can have a comeback. Nah, somebody on that team doesn't like Danny Dimes. And I say that with all sincerity.
Saboteur.
Bro, he was getting fucked up. Even Michael Parsons said, yo, listen, I don't know why they had that man still in the game. We was wearing him out. He said, I'm obviously a Cowboy. He said, but I'm a football fan, and I like football players. It's a fraternity, and somebody was trying to hurt that guy. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. That shouldn't happen, and I blame coaching for that. So I think a lot of the Giants are not going to do well this year because of, like you said, Fresh, they alienated their best player, right? So he's not happy, and like you said, other players looking like, well, dang, what are they going to do to us? On top of that, I think as a coaching staff, they're not very good. As a team, they're not very good. With that being said, though, they're going to win 17-14.
It's one of those things. And also, I saw last week what I saw from the Cardinals watching that game up close and personal. I don't, you're coming in against a totally different team. There's no pop with the Cardinals at all. I think that, like you said, we praised them for getting the absolute max. I think they get back to some semblance of that today, man. They pull it out. I just listen. The Cowboys are good. They're not good. I don't think they're not 40-0 bad. I actually think this team is a credible team. They just didn't show up last week. Just in some, like I said, sometimes the dog gets your ass, man. And last week they got that. They just flush it, come back out to play this week. First, moving on. Who we got next?
Well, that's a great segue into who flushed their ass last week. The Dallas Cowboys. They host the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets today at 4:30 in the 4:30 window. Thoughts, bros?
Okay, I'm of the minority that don't necessarily think the Jets are a terrible team now. I just don't. I don't think they're a terrible team. I think, considering all things, this injury may be a blessing for them, to be honest with you. While Zach Wilson is a mid to lower tier quarterback, or what some people may feel like is the worst quarterback.
I feel like the worst quarterback.
Yeah, I think that I feel so confident in that defense. So confident in that defense that they can ride out most of the regular season with erratic quarterback play. That's how confident I am in that defense. I think this is a low-scoring game today. I don't think it's any fireworks. I don't think it gets crazy in Dallas. I don't want to regret this pick. I think Dallas wins today, but I don't think it's as crazy as people think it's going to be. Dallas may win this game to the tune of, I want to say 20-13, 20, something like that, 20-13. Yeah, I think something like 20-13. I don't think the Dallas offense is going to run roughshod over the Jets defense. That defense is going to keep that game close in terms of field positioning. You know what I mean? And lending some favor to the Jets offense. The question is, can the Jets offense get anything done with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Cook? Can they get anything done? We'll see. I'm gonna go with I think it might. It could be an upset, but that would be reaching too far. Give me Dallas. Give me a safe pick on this one, only because there's so many things pointing against. I just feel a different way about the Jets than everybody else. I just do.
Man, you making my stomach hurt the way I thought you was going to pick the Jets, man. You was making my. Is he ready to do it? I'm gonna be real fast.
I do it just to do it, but it's got to be logical somewhat. I mean,
I'm gonna make it real fast, beat Matt. I think this is the start of the ending for the Jets. I think Zach Wilson is probably the worst quarterback in football. I think the defense will probably be worn down by middle third quarter, and when you can only put up probably about 6 to 10 points to Dallas's 30 points. And they'll probably have 30 before you have 10, so it'll really be, to me, I think it could look like last week. I think you could really put down, pull a hammer out. You could pull a hammer out because I actually think it could be a repeat of next week. So give me 35-7.
Oh, got the hammer out on him.
Mm-hmm. Hammer.
So I think this game could end up being close, like Coach says, right? And the reason being, we're missing our starting left guard, who didn't play last week either, and there was no effect, right? Zach
We got the chat room with the Jets with the upset. Wow.
Yes.
They said it.
Zach Martin is banged up. He's playing. Brandon Cooks is out.
What's new?
So right. So with those injuries and the fact that I think that if the Jets are coached right, which I think they will be, I think he's a really good coach. They're going to, and I think they can run on us, right? Because Breece Hall, from what I seen last week, he's back from that injury, right?
Yeah.
And Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? He's not one of the best, but he's solid. You know
if I'm not mistaken, I think Dalvin Cook is not playing.
Oh, Dalvin Cook's not
Well,
playing.
shit. But see, I mean, shit.
Okay. I think that's
We
big.
call it. I mean, I you know.
I think it's big because with Breece Hall not necessarily being 100% or not, you know, being where he should be mid-season form, I think that's big. But I still think they have the ability to run on us. With that being said, though, I think we're going to make Wilson look really bad.
Okay.
Right? We're going to make Wilson.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Bro,
you know, if they can get to him, I can see that.
Micah, Dorrance, Fowler, D-Law, them niggas going to eat. And that's going to cause turnovers, right? And it's going to get ugly.
That's the part I'm predicting.
I mean, if that happens, absolutely. I can't argue with that. If that happens, absolutely.
I love Sauce. I love their defense, right? And I think their D-line, we're going to have trouble running because their D-line is nice. Their defense is nice as a whole, like you said, Coach. Their D is real. No taking away from that. But like also you said, Fresh, they're going to be on the field a long time. So I think they're going to get tired at some point. And I think
Good observation.
31-10.
Okay. Moving on. Who we got, Fresh? What's next?
Moving on, we have in Mile High, we have the Denver Broncos hosting your Washington Commanders.
Okay. Coach, I'm going to say, first of all, Russell Wilson is the worst quarterback in the league. Let's start there.
That's fair. That's fair.
The other Wilson, right? With that being said, the young boy Chase Young is playing. He's going to be in a snap count.
Oh,
but I think he might touch Russell once or twice, right? I love McLovin. I love Dotson. I'm not sold on a quarterback. I love Robinson. Is it Robinson Jr. or Robinson Sr.? I don't want to get his name wrong.
Robinson Jr.
Robinson Jr. I think I'm sorry, pardon me. I think
no. Yeah. I'll accept it. I'm
going
politically correct.
I think the Commanders have a really good game against Denver, and I think the defense gonna really eat with that Mr. Wilson back there. I like the Commanders 28-7.
Going into Mile High is always tough.
True.
But like the good brother said, man, Russell Wilson is arguably the worst quarterback in the league right now. Sean Payton has a tough task on his hands. He has a reclamation project on his hands with Russell Wilson. And to me, I'm not the type of person in this point of your life that you get really good at identifying defenses and knowing how to pick them apart and knowing how to execute on time. I'm not a big fan that you're going to learn that overnight. And I sure don't think he's learned this since last week. So I actually think the Washington Commandos go into the Mile High Stadium and pull out a victory. And it's pretty much, I would say it's a little bit closer than it should be. And I will say it's a funny score too. Something like, give me 19-18 Washington.
This game is going to come down to one thing and one thing only. It's very simple. Washington's defense, if it plays like a top 5 defense, they win this game going away. If it plays like a bottom third defense, Denver makes it interesting and can win this game. Because right now, the biggest issue for Washington isn't necessarily the quarterback, it's the offensive line. The offensive line doesn't have bad plays, they have bad stretches.
Oh.
And bad stretches tend to lead to making your quarterback look bad. So what will happen here is if the offensive line plays well, and that defense looks like it's supposed to look, and it's not necessarily the return of Chase Young. If Montez Sweat, Allen, and Payne continue to play how they played last week, this game will be easy. They don't have anything on the edges to challenge Washington in the secondary. Emmanuel Forbes, another name to watch out for. He's a young kid with super swagger and a playmaker. They don't have anything to challenge Washington on the edges. I think the only way Denver wins this game is on the ground. I don't think they win this game in the air. They win this on the ground if they're able to run the football and Washington lays an egg. With that being said, I know how Washington plays. It's never comfortable, and it's never going to be comfortable until the O-line is consistently good for at least 3 quarters, not a quarter and a half. They play well when the offensive line plays well. When the offensive line plays bad, they look very marginal to below average. And I mean, you need 3 good quarters of offensive line play in order to establish any sort of offensive continuity. With that being said, 17-14 Washington. Close game.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Tonight, we have the game of the week, I guess they would call it. We have the New England Patriots hosting the Miami Dolphins in a primetime matchup in Foxborough. Thoughts?
Fresh, you was real high on the hoodie. You was real high on the hoodie last week.
Yeah, man. And I thought it was going to be just like how it ended up.
Now, okay, so
real quick, I'm sorry, before you start, I gotta throw this out there.
Okay.
Is the hoodie on a hot seat, bro?
I would say he should be.
As far as the season's concerned, is he?
I would say he should be, but I would give him this season, but I would have already put him there.
What do you think, Coach?
You know what? If I'm Robert Kraft, I say yes. And here's why. Because I took your word for it and got rid of probably the greatest quarterback of all time, we're in this position we're in now, right? Which for all intent and purposes, would have been acceptable had he finished his career out in New England. Mm-hmm. Because nobody's concerned about wins and losses in New England when the GOAT finishes his career in New England.
Right.
We know lean years are coming.
Right.
What you did was you accelerated the process and you threw away the one thing that any franchise would love to have, and that's the opportunity to work through being bad. You don't have the opportunity to work through being bad, hoodie, because what you did was you made me choose between probably what people would have perceived as the greatest mind in the game versus the greatest player in the game. I went with you. I was wrong. So now, yes, because of your decisions, you very well may be on a hot seat if I'm Robert Kraft. I'm looking at this and saying, okay, well, I listened to you. You were dead wrong. I can literally make a decision here and not feel bad about it. I can make a decision here if you don't play well. If they play well in a challenge for the playoffs, then no, he's not on a hot seat. Because you got to see some signs. You wanted me to make this move, hoodie. You got to show me some signs. It don't start tonight, though. It doesn't start tonight. Give me the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins.
Oh shit! It don't start tonight.
It don't start tonight. It doesn't start tonight. Give me the Dolphins. I don't think it's the high flying Dolphins like last week. I just think the Dolphins get it done. They got to get to Tua and they got to get to him early. You got to get Tua off his rhythm. Once he gets going, you could see those video game numbers. But you know the hoodie's going to take something away. The hoodie's going to try to get to him early. I think they have some success. I just don't think it affects them. Give me the Dolphins 24-14. 24-14. 23-14.
I think they go high flying again. Because you know what you said is true. The hoodie tries to take away your best thing, but I don't think he has that talent anymore to do that. So they're going to try to take away Tua, and unless they concuss him, which we all know is possible, I think he's going to kill him. And I'm putting my hood on because I'm saying this is the beginning of the end. Rest in peace to hoodie, man. 42-14, man. Rest in peace.
Woo! Hammer time. You got hammer time, Fresh? You got hammer time too?
Now I don't have any hammer time. Not
Okay,
on
I'll
this
put the
one,
hammer
man.
away.
I mean, the hoodie, man, one thing I know he's going to do, man, he's not going to beat himself. Now, the players out there may not be doing exactly what they need to do, but their basement is a lot higher than a lot of other people's basement. So one thing I know you have to do is you have to beat them. You have to go in and beat them. They don't beat themselves a lot. Last week was a little bit out of character. Guys not getting their feet down, couple turnovers. That was a little bit out of character for the hoodie and them. And I think I'm in agreement. I think that the hoodie doesn't start tonight either. I think it's a close game. It's an interdivisional game. But I think they won't be able to get to Tua to the tune of knocking him out. And I think Tyreek Hill has somewhat of a significant to monster game tonight. I think he's the person that you can't game plan for. And if they can just if you get a little bit of time, I think he will eat all those New England Patriot MCs in the backfield to the tune of something like 28-24 Miami.
Okay. So you saying Miami wins, but it's a close one.
Oh yeah, the hoodie, man. Look, I think the hoodie knows he's coaching for his life. So I think Bill O'Brien wasn't an accident going out and getting a real offensive coordinator. Like, man, I'm really grasping at straws around here. I really have to do some things. And I thought he's recognized I had to do some things on the offensive side. But I think he don't recognize you need the talent to go along with your scheme and the coach and all of that. You need a couple more talented playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, which is where you've been falling short the last, 3-4 years without timing.
I think you're going to see a lot of two deep shells and rush four. They're going to try to flood the passing lanes with Patriots and a lot of zone. You're going to see. I think they're going to try to flood the passing lanes with a lot of Patriots. Man, I don't think they're going to take their chances doing a lot of blitz, and they're going to try to get home with 4-man pressure up front. You can't afford to have any one-on-one coverage back there. For all intents and purposes, like y'all said, you can't even afford to have double coverage because, see, he outruns double coverage. I think you're just going to see a lot of, safeties 20 yards back trying to prevent the home run play. And it's going to come down to the precision of Tua dicing them up and, a lot of Jalen Waddle with a lot of rack. Because it's going to be a lot of underneath. You're going to get a lot of underneath opportunities. They're going to try to take away the deep ball and the big play.
True.
As we move on to tomorrow night, we have 2 games in a split.
Woo!
In a split focus. Yeah, you got a buffet tomorrow night. The first of which would be the Carolina Panthers playing host to the New Orleans Saints at 7:15. Who you got?
Give me the Saints. I'm not impressed by either team. I'm not a Carr fan at all, by no stretch of the imagination. Give me the Saints 24-14.
It's in New Orleans?
No, it's in Carolina.
Oh, that changes things. Give me Carolina. I'm gonna take Carolina. Young fella shows off tomorrow night. Prime time. He shows off. He shows he's worthy of that pick. And he shows the future of Carolina football. I think they win this game. I think it might even be a fairly entertaining game. I don't think it's going to be the snoozer that everyone thinks or it looks like on paper. I think it might be a fairly entertaining game. And I think it's entertaining to the tune of 27-24.
Okay.
27-24, Carolina.
One thing I didn't see
young Bryce gets a win.
I'm glad you say that because one thing I don't recall seeing a lot of last week was a lot of Panther highlights. I almost did they play last week? But everybody played last week. I don't remember if they won or lost. I'm pretty sure they lost.
They had a bye.
So now, they had a bye. They had a bye last week. I don't even remember them playing. Shit. So with that being said, I actually don't think Bryce Young gets his first victory tonight. I actually do remember the New Orleans Saints playing last week. I actually do remember them getting 3 or 4 turnovers last week and putting the screws to a Tennessee Titans team. I don't remember the Carolina Panthers even suiting up last week. So I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints to the tune of 27-10.
Moving on. Who's the second tilt for that Monday night?
And the second
Please
tilt
tell
for
me
that Monday
please tell me
night.
we got a main course for Monday night.
Oh, it's an interdivisional slobber knocker AFC North rivalry game. As it has the Steeltown Pittsburgh Steelers hosting, coming off of first week win,
The masseuse.
the Fondelier and the Cleveland Browns. Thoughts, fellas?
I'm gonna go with the Fondelier, man. Well, you know what? Amari Cooper's not slated to play tomorrow. I think that looms big because he's solid. I still think they get the dub. The Fondelier, man, I wasn't impressed with him, but I felt like he started to get his rhythm at the end. And I think there might be some carryover to that. So I'm gonna go with the Fondelier in a low scoring game, 17-10.
Where's this game at, Fresh?
It's in Steeltown, Pittsburgh. Let me just confirm that.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, Steeltown, Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Pittsburgh is not known for any massage parlors or anything of that nature, so it might not be any distractions for Fingers Watson. With that being said, give me Steelers in a bounce back game. Give me Steelers. They show some of that potential that me and you raved about during the pregame show and last week that we thought would show up. I think they show some of that potential. I think they get the victory here in a divisional game, and it's going to be a filthy one too. I think it's going to be a filthy one. 14-13, filthy game. Monday night, filthy, knockdown, drag out divisional game. They went 14-13, very close one.
Okay.
With me, myself, I'm looking at both of these teams, man. It seems like it's going to be a physical knockdown, drag out. Both of these teams have quarterbacks sort of kind of getting back to their footing or trying to catch their footing. The Pittsburgh Steelers last week, to me, man, they probably was one of the most, if not the most disappointing team last week. And I actually picked them to make great strides this year. With that being said, I'm going to continue to give those strides that I think they're going to make this year, because I think that they are the team that can bounce back from a drubbing that they got last week at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers and actually bounce back against a team that they're very familiar against, a team as themselves are trying to find their footing with a new quarterback, new surroundings. And like I said, I got a little bit more to significantly more faith in my guy, or not my guy yet, but the guy, Kenny Two Gloves. Kenny Two Gloves. So I actually think the whole AFC North will come out of this weekend being 1-1 with a win by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think we all think it's going to be close. And I think it's going to be close as well, to the tune of 21-17.
Awesome. Picks in. We got the locks from the block. I think it's nothing else further to do, fellas. Let's watch some football. Closing thoughts, man. What you eating today, Fresh? What you eating today?
I'm not sure, because I gotta run out and go get it, because I got my picks to get in. So while I'm out, I'll probably get something. I don't know. It might be something Mexican based today. Might be something Mexican based.
Just Mexican based. What you eating today,
Mexican-based.
B-Matt? What you eating?
I think I'm feeling like some seasoned wings, man. I think that's
Okay.
And
Any particular flavor?
fried. I usually do the dry Old Bay rub.
Okay.
Fried
Okay.
and maybe some broccoli chicken pizza.
I can dig it. Yeah, I'm feeling chicken wingish, man. I feel like some poultry in my future. I definitely feel like some poultry in my future. So I think as far as schedule wise, I'm gonna watch this first game into the confines of the command center, and then I might venture out on the road for the second game of the day, or maybe the late game to see if I can get some different surroundings, get myself some air. But I'm gonna watch that first game from the confines of the command center.
I'm here. So if you want to pull up for the second, you know what I mean? I'm in the
Say
building.
less.
But like you, I think I might step out for the late game. So
Okay. Say less. Say less. That might be the look. We might do that. Fresh, you stationary or what's the look for the day?
I don't know. I might get mobile, man. I might get mobile myself, man. If you guys, I ain't got too much going on, man. It's just football. Making sure these picks and these fantasy picks and these points and this money start adding up right.
Who's the Sunday night game? Who's the Sunday night game tonight?
Patriots in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that worthy to be? Is that worthy of a road of watching?
We might fuck with E Squared if that's the look.
All right. Okay.
Holla at me, man. 3616 Kirkwood Highway, E Square Cigar Lounge, aka home.
Shout out to
With that being said, this has been the Fire and Ice Experience. Football talk. We're here. We pray the religion of football. We gets it in. This is what we do. If you ain't talking football, you ain't talking nothing. We out. Yeah.